not bad. You kids really poured it on. Hi, I'm Gene Douglas, and that's part of my freshman track team. The boys are really working very hard. Say, maybe you'd like to meet some of them. Well, there's Bill. He's going out for the high jump. And Jim, the broad jump and sprints, too. Mike is number 1 boy at the shot put right now. He's a pretty good distance runner, too. But Ben's clocked the best time for the 440 so far. Pole vault is George's specialty, but he's giving the high jump a good try, too. And Pete, well, he's trying most everything right now. They make a pretty fair team. Anyway, they're sure trying hard enough.
Hey, Coach.
Yeah?
I twisted my ankle.
Oh, is it bad?
I don't think so.
Well, see me inside, will you?
Okay.
Okay. That's it for today. Everybody inside. Come on. Here. Let's take a look. How'd you do it?
I was taking a jump and I landed sideways in.
Yeah, I can see. Well, I'll put an elastic bandage around it. I'll take a look at it and see how it is tomorrow. Okay?
Why does this always have to happen to me? Some guys never get hurt.
Oh, you're just having a little bad luck.
Yeah, but why me? Look at Mike. He never gets hurt.
Well, he's built a little different from you, Pete. He's developed earlier.
Yeah, but why? He's not any older than I am.
It's not just how old you are. Kids develop at different times.
Hey, Coach, is Mickey Mouse here going to live?
Mickey Mouse, listen, you big...
All right. Take it easy. You better get your clothes on. Okay. That's Mike. He's sure filling out. And it won't be long before Pete starts putting on some weight, too. In fact, all these kids are starting to develop now. They're all around 14, 15 years old. And there'll be a lot of changes taking place.
Say, did you do your homework?
What homework?
You know, your math.
Oh, that? Sure. I couldn't get the last one.
Oh, great. That's the one I was wondering about.
Say, what happened to your fade?
Oh, this? Cut myself shaving.
Yeah? Maybe I'll start shaving soon.
Come on, you better get a move on or we'll be late for class.
Yes, shaving is part of it. And there were still other changes. Some of these things most kids knew about, while others didn't.
Hey, you know something?
No, what?
I had a wet dream last night.
Wet dreams? What's that?
Oh, you know, some sperm comes out of your penis.
Sperm?
Yeah, sort of a sticky stuff. Guy's part of a baby. Didn't your brother ever tell you about that?
No. He never says much about anything. So that means you can start a baby.
It was something new to Bill, this business of nocturnal emissions, just as a lot of other things were new. Growing up is a time of change. Everything seems to happen at once.
The coach said it's glands.
Well, you get those from your parents.
Hey, what is this? You all taking the afternoon off?
Hey, Coach, didn't you say it was glands that made guys different?
Yeah, that's right.
Well, today in biology class, Mr. Davis said we're all different because of our parents.
That's right. I meant the way your body develops at puberty.
Puberty? What's that?
Well, that'd take a little explaining. Maybe later, huh?
Yeah, but when?
Well, how about after practice this afternoon?
Sure, great.
Okay, but we've got work to do now. Come on, let's
Yeah,
get
right,
out
let's
there.
go.
Come on, fellas. So that afternoon in the locker room, I started answering some of the boys' questions.
Hey, you having a meeting?
No, just talking. Sit down if you want to. Let's see, where was I? Oh, yes. Well, each of us is different from the day we're born. No two people are exactly alike. Some of those differences are inherited from our parents.
See? I said so.
Then at puberty, certain glands begin to work, and our bodies begin to change.
But where are these glands? Yeah. And what's puberty?
Well, puberty? Well, Puberty's a lot of things. Mainly, though, it's a time of change. For you, it means your bodies are changing from boys to men.
You mean like having to shave? Say, when's a guy start shaving anyway?
Oh, there isn't any special age. You're all going to start at different times. That's because everybody matures according to his own body's rules. In general, everybody grows broader in the shoulders, the ribs, and the pelvis. Your arm and leg bones grow longer, and so does your back, from the neck to the buttocks. But everybody doesn't develop at the same time, or in the same way. Jim, for instance, is bigger all over than you, Pete, but that just means he started filling out earlier. You'll catch up. George now is growing tall instead of filling out. Mike is more like Jim. Ben will be tall, probably, and big all over. Well, everybody is just naturally a little different.
Yeah, but where do these glands come in?
Well, it's the sex glands, or testes, that actually get these changes going. Here, maybe a diagram will help. Here's the penis and the scrotum that holds the testicles or testes inside. Now, when you're around 14, maybe sooner, maybe later, the testes start making a chemical substance called a hormone. It's this hormone that causes the changes. It enlarges the penis itself and starts hair growing here and under your arms and on your face. It even affects your voice, makes it deeper. It also makes you grow thicker or taller or both.
That hormone, is that what you call sperm?
No, sperm is something else. Sperm is made in the testes, too. Do you all know what sperm is?
Yeah, it's the guy's part of the baby, isn't it?
That's right.
But how does it get out from the testicles?
Through tubes here. There's one from each testicle. Goes up, down again, through a storage place, and out into the penis. Now, when the penis erects, gets hard, the sperm can come out in what's called an ejaculation.
Not every time, though.
What do you mean?
Well, I mean, sometimes the penis gets hard without, well...
Oh, without an ejaculation of sperm? Oh, yes, that's right. You see, all an erection is an increase in blood in the penis, which is made up mostly of spongia. Now, when something excites us sexually, this tissue fills up with blood, and the whole organ is extended or hard, erect.
Sometimes that just happens by itself, doesn't it? You know, like in the morning.
Oh, yes, you don't have to be thinking about sex to have an erection. Pressure from a full bladder can cause it, or rhythmic movements of the body, horseback riding, say. Yes, George?
Does an erection, well, does that mean you have too much sperm and you ought to get rid of it?
Get rid of it? No. But sometimes your body will do that by itself, at night. It's called a nocturnal emission, or wet dream.
Does that? Well, I was told it had something to do with pimples and stuff. Is that right?
No. No, you see, when you reach puberty and all these changes start taking place, there are a lot of glands involved. Not just the sex glands. For instance, there's one in the back of the brain called the pituitary. And then there are the thyroid glands here in the neck. Now, some things about these glands are still a mystery. But we do know that a hormone from one can affect the others. And in a lot of people your age, this may partly cause skin trouble.
Well, what can you do about it?
Oh, if it really bothers you, you should see a doctor. He'll tell you what to do. It can be cleared up pretty well these days. Hey, it's about time.
Hey, could we go on with this tomorrow?
Yeah, how about it?
Sure, okay. Come on down early, huh? Oh, yes, there were still plenty of questions. And as usual, some guys thought they knew all the answers.
And so the dope pushes her into the water. Boy, did she get mad. Maybe she was having her period or something.
Oh, that doesn't make any difference. My sister goes swimming when she's having her period.
Period? What's that?
Yeah, no, menstrual period. Don't you know what that is?
No.
Say, somebody ought to give you guys the word.
Okay, wise guy, what is it?
Hey, what's going on here?
Well, these goofballs have never heard of a menstrual period, now I was trying to tell them.
And he didn't know what he was talking about either.
Yeah.
Okay, simmer down. Have a seat. I brought some charts. Maybe this'll help. The female reproductive system and fertilization.
Hey, look. Pollywog.
Now, wait a minute. These are sperm cells. But let's start from the beginning. Menstruation is just one part of a whole series of things that take place in the female sex system. It's arranged something like this. The vagina that opens out between the legs, the uterus, or womb, a pair of tubes, and 2 sex glands, or ovaries. Now, about once every month, these glands produce an egg cell, or ovum, which passes along one of these tubes to the uterus.
An egg? You mean like a chicken egg?
No, not exactly. It's very small. You'd need a microscope to get a really good look at it. It's like a chicken egg in one way, though. If it's fertilized by a male sperm cell, it'll grow into a baby. Here in the uterus. First, the uterus grows a lining which would take and feed the egg if it were fertilized. But when it's not fertilized, it disintegrates, and it and the lining and some blood pass out through the vagina. And this is called menstruation. Yes, Pete?
When does a girl start having these periods?
When she reaches puberty, around 13.
That means she can have a baby then?
Yes, that's right. Just like you can become fathers as soon as your testes start making sperm. Here. This is what happens when the egg is fertilized. The sperm meets the egg in this tube. Then the fertilized egg becomes attached to the uterus wall, and the cells multiply and grow into a baby.
Yeah, but how's it get there? You know, not just the sperm and egg stuff. I mean, well, what really happens?
Oh, what you want to know about is sexual intercourse. Well, that happens like this. Here. Here's a cross-section of the vagina. The erect penis enters here, and rhythmic movements, a pumping back and forth, causes an ejaculation from the penis. Some of the sperm swim up here, through the uterus, and on into the tube, where they may or may not meet an egg cell. If one does, then the egg is fertilized and settles down here in the uterus and grows into a baby. About 9 months later, the baby is born through the vagina. This is how we all came into the world.
Yeah, but babies and all that. That's not all you go out with girls for, is it?
No, you're right. Going out with girls is fun. When you get older, you probably want to get married and start a family.
Say, when should a guy start going around with girls?
Oh, there's no real answer to that. Whenever you feel like it, I guess. Maybe the first time you'll want to ask someone to a party or a dance. Maybe you'll need a partner. But there's no special age, just like there isn't any special reason for taking a girl out. Most guys just like female company. Well, that's it for today, fellas. Let's get out to practice, huh?
Hi, Miss Jensen.
Good morning, girls. How's your throat this morning, Molly?
Oh, just fine. It doesn't hurt at all anymore.
Well, you'd better stop by my office and let me take a look at it. It won't take a minute.
Okay.
Okay, Molly, let's take a look. Oh, yes. Oh, that's clearing up just fine. Going to the game tonight?
Oh, sure.
will you please let someone else do the cheering for you? Because that throat is still slightly inflamed.
Okay, I'll be careful.
Oh, by the way, Molly, your mother left her gloves over at my house last night. Will you take them to her?
Sure, she's always leaving them someplace. See you later.
Okay. You know, I've known Molly and her family ever since she first came to school. And I think you might like to know her, too. Molly lives at home with her father, her mother, and her older sister, Jeannie. Jeannie and Molly each have their own rooms. But lately, it seems that Molly is more interested in Jeannie's room than her own. Molly and Jeannie get along, well, about as most sisters do.
Molly! What do you think you're doing?
Nothing, Jeannie. I just happened to come in and...
Honestly, Molly, how many times have I asked you to leave my things alone?
Well, all I was doing was just...
And you didn't get all the lipstick off either.
Oh, I wasn't going to hurt your old things. I just wanted to try them.
Well, why don't you ask Mom for some things of your own? You're old enough now.
Jeannie, when do you think I'll start having periods, too?
Oh, I don't know. Pretty soon, I suppose. I was 13 when I started.
Well, Peggy's already started hers, and I'm 6 months older than she is.
Well, so what? Some start earlier and some later. We're all different. And from the way you've been acting lately, it shouldn't be long now.
One day, not long after that, Molly came home from school.
That you, Molly?
Yes, Mom.
Hi. What kind of a day did you have today?
Mom, guess what?
I don't know. What?
Mom, I started my first period.
Well, what do you know? Come on, sit down. Tell me about it. When did it start?
Well, it was this afternoon when I was changing into my gym clothes, and I noticed a bit of blood on my panties, and golly, at first I thought, well, I didn't know what to think. And then I remembered when we talked about
Menstruation.
menstruation and stuff, and, well, then I went to see Miss Jensen.
Oh, my goodness. How do you feel?
Kind of funny like. I mean, well, I was hoping it would start soon. But it seems like I've forgotten everything you've told me.
All right. I tell you what we'll do. Tonight will be mother and daughter conference night. And if you'll give me a hand with supper, we'll get started that much earlier.
Okay, I'll wash up and be right down.
Golly. And it won't be long at all before you're quite used to it. You see, honey, menstruation is perfectly normal. It happens every month. Sit up, dear.
But why each month, Mom?
Oh, it's just part of being a woman, I guess. Of course, right at first, you probably won't be very regular. Most girls don't settle down for a year or so. Even then, some girls go more than a month between periods and others less. That's normal, too. And eventually, your body will set up its own regular time. Please sit up, Molly.
Oh, Mom, I'm comfortable.
Well, if you sit and stand straight, that'll give the organs inside your body room to function better. And that'll make you feel better.
I'll get it. That's probably Peggy. Hello? Oh, hi, Peggy. Sure, just a minute, I'll ask. Mom, can I go swimming with Peggy tomorrow after school?
I don't think I would, Molly.
But I'd be home by 5:30.
No, it's not a good idea the first 2 or 3 days of your period. You might get chilled and catch cold.
Oh, that's right. Peggy, of course I can't go swimming. You know I've got the curse. That's right. It isn't a good idea the first couple of days. Okay, I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.
Good heavens, Molly, you're growing like a weed. I'm going to have to let that hem down again. Come on, I'll do it right now.
Okay.
You know, I've often wondered why it is that some women still call menstruation the curse.
I don't know. Peggy calls it that. And it is kind of a nuisance, isn't it?
I suppose it is sometimes. Just that it sounded sort of old-fashioned to hear you say it.
Growing up is fun, but some of the things Molly used to do seem a little silly now. Sometimes she gets all mixed up just thinking about it. She's changing from a child into an adult, and it's a little confusing at times. Molly had lots of questions about what was happening to her. It so happened I had a chance to answer some of them. Her teacher was sick one day and asked me to take her class. And this is true of women everywhere. So you see, menstruation is just the natural, normal process leading up to being a mother. This is a diagram of the uterus, or womb, and these are the fallopian tubes leading to it. And these the ovaries which produce the egg cells. Now, these egg cells are far too small for us to see, but once each month, an egg cell will leave one of the ovaries, go into the opening of the tube nearest to it, and then it's on its way to the uterus. Now, at the same time, the uterus has been preparing a growing place for this egg, a soft lining of blood vessels and tissues. If the egg unites with a male cell or sperm as it's on its way down the tube, it is fertilized, and then when it reaches the uterus, it settles down in this soft lining and begins to grow into a baby. But if the egg cell is not fertilized, it disappears. And then, since the lining is no longer needed, it too dissolves away. And it flows out of the body through an opening in the hymen, which is a membrane over the opening of the vagina. And so we say that we are menstruating. Yes, Barbara?
Miss Jensen, when does menstruation start?
Well, some girls start when they're 10 years old, and some when they're 16 or 17, or anywhere in between. But the average age seems to be about 13.
No, I mean what day of the week will it start? My mother starts on Tuesday. Will mine too?
Oh, it might, but it probably won't, because each girl's body sets up her own time and rhythm. And the time between periods may vary anywhere from 23 to 32 days. And the flow lasts from 2 to 7 days, also depending on the girl's own rhythm.
Miss Jensen, how often should you change napkins when you're menstruating?
Well, that depends on the amount of flow, but probably 5 or 6 times a day. And that brings up another point. Many of you girls haven't started to menstruate yet, but when you do, you will want to use a sanitary napkin to absorb the flow. It's a soft, absorbent pad, and it's made to fit over the opening of the vagina and to follow the curve of the body. The tab ends are attached to a narrow elastic belt, which you can wear around your hips or waist. Now, some girls prefer to use tampons. A tampon is a cylinder of absorbent cotton inside a cardboard applicator. It is inserted into the vagina by means of the applicator. The cotton absorbs the flow, and when it is full, you remove it and discard it. Yes, Molly?
Miss Jensen, is it true that people can tell when you're menstruating?
No, it isn't. But you should be more careful than ever about personal cleanliness and daintiness. Change your underwear more often, and be sure and use a deodorant. And pay more attention to your hair and your nails, and plan to wear your prettiest dress. In other words, be your most attractive self. And remember, menstruation is only a part of growing up. As you grow, your body changes from that of a young girl to that of a woman. It's becoming round with the beginnings of a bosom and the start of a real waistline and hips. And hair is beginning to grow in different places, pubic hair and underarm hair. Yes, Anne?
Miss Jensen, what about dancing? Can you when you're menstruating?
Yes, you can, with moderation. In fact, you can do most of the things you usually do. You can bathe or shower as long as you use warm water. And you can wash your hair if you're sure to dry it quickly. And you can swim if you wait until after 2 or 3 days after the beginning of your period. And you can go to dances and picnics. But it's not a very good idea to skate, or ride horseback, or play fast games like volleyball and basketball, or do strenuous dancing like square dancing, or anything that bounces you around a lot. In general, mild exercises are best. Ones that strengthen the abdominal muscles are particularly good. It's sensible to avoid strenuous exercise when you're menstruating. And you be sure and tell your mother or me if everything doesn't seem to be just right. Now, I'd like each of you to take one of these booklets about menstruation, and when you finish reading it, if you have any questions, be sure and come and see me. And remember, menstruation is as normal and natural as eating or breathing or sleeping.